variety of texts within any one space. I didn't want all of the pieces that are, for instance, this one that has the actual handwriting of the poet, in this case, Walt Whitman. I didn't want the other poem that's in the space that also is by Walt Whitman in script, his script, to be right next to it. I wanted to create more of a variety of experiences as you move through the room. Right, and it's also a juxtaposition of modern versus older work. So, for instance, over here we have the part of Emma Gonzalez's speech that she gave after the shooting in Parkland, Florida. She's a student, an activist student that talked about gun control. So that is next to Carl Sandburg and Walt Whitman. The sense of wanting to express ourselves and listening to each other's voices goes way back in the United States. It's not just about right now, and it's not ancient history. It's alive today. And that goes to the title of the show, which is called I Hear America Singing, which is actually a literal, it is a title of a poem by Walt Whitman. So it's a tribute to him, although that particular poem didn't end up in this show. But it's about how we continue to sing or to voice protest, both historically and in our current day. I'm trying to get beyond the verbal in this. And I do that, I think, because it's a physical experience. It's not just a verbal. It's a verbal and physical experience is what I'm hoping for. I think it has to do with trying to stay in touch with the artists of the past, the poets of the past, and doing that, I felt like I was doing that very directly when I was able to trace their actual handwriting. The handwriting itself is an extremely important component of the show, because I think handwriting shows where this person has come from, how maybe, for instance, in the work of Walt Whitman here, it's very old-fashioned script. So I've really tried to use, as much as possible, I tried to find the actual manuscripts from the poets to transcribe their actual hand. For instance, this one is Maya Angelou, and that's her handwriting that she did on a yellow notebook pad, right? We've all probably seen that kind of paper, but I painted and drew the actual paper to look like that. And then this is her handwriting in it. And it looks it's surprisingly formal to me. The framed piece against the wall is actually an image of my mother she grew up in a small prairie town in Texas, and they, I guess, had put on a play about America. And she inspired me a lot in my life. She was very active politically. So I used her image as a kind of inspiration. And she also was very vocal about her views. And opposite this framed piece is the desk with a drawing of what she might have said in this particular situation. The desk has a question that asks you to express what you want to say to our current government, basically. And so I am imagining what she might have said. So there's a sense of her presence in this show. I want that sense of communication, conversation, and you can do that by walking around and reading, but I think I wanted to offer another level of communication, because there's a personalization that I feel happens when you actually have to think for yourself, well, what would I say? How would I respond to something? And in this case, it's a very direct question. So I wanted to have that personal experience for the viewers. Because it's a single piece, I did not try to direct people in one direction, in one area or another. However, when you walk in, I think you see the panels and you see this piece, framed piece at the back immediately. So there's an immediate sort of experience that I did anticipate. However, there's no particular order that I wanted people to walk and read the panels, or experience the exhibition. I think it was more, it's one overall experience that people, I hope, will direct themselves.